have that much money.
It'd be more trouble than it's worth for some of my.
I was, 10 years ago, I'd go, listen, if they want to steal my identity, they might improve my credit rating. I'm just telling you, they might improve it. So, I wasn't too worried about that.
You should be hacked at your own risk.
Well, yeah, really, hack at your own risk. Now, if you want to hack my account and steal my identity, you're going to see that I've worked on my credit rating the last year, so it's up. My son's like, wow, Mom. Morning, Cal. How's it going? Aren't you cold in your shorts, guys?
Oh, it's supposed to warm up later, so.
Yeah, but some of us got here at 7:30 this morning, and it was cold, waiting for my car lights to go off so I could make sure it was locked. I don't come in unless I make sure it's locked. I have my car key, I have my room key, office keys on my car keys. So, because that way they have to be in my hand. I know that, so I can get into the building or get into my office, and get into my car.
Juanita got off somehow, Monday or Tuesday, we kind of come in at, hours or whatever, and when I saw her going back in the building, I thought, oh, that's interesting, switch her car. I got in and her eyes were big, she said, I just realized I don't have my purse, I don't have my wallet. I'm like, really? So I guess she had her keys maybe, and her phone, and just was distracted. And so she said, I think I might have left it outside my apartment. It locked me up or whatever. And so I was like, you better go now.
But what I did the other day is I bought donuts, and I went to one of the high schools, and I came back, and I couldn't find my debit card. And I go walking through the house, and it's laying on the floor in the house. And I'm like, oh, thank heavens I don't have to go to Rise and Shine Donuts and say, where's my debit card? Then, yesterday, I'm getting set to pay for my groceries, and I can't find. I have two debit cards. One, my husband and I share an account, and then I have my account. It's just how it is, okay? Well, it's smart to, I have my own account, because he used our joint account all the time. He carried that up until he had a stroke, and now I give him a few dollars every once in a while. That's what he gets. This is allowance. But I couldn't find it yesterday. I put it in the wrong slot in my wallet, and I was like, phew. But that's like twice in a week and a half. I guess it was last Friday that I couldn't find my debit card. I'm real notorious about when I only take the debit card in when I go to get donuts, and I just stick it in my shirt, in my bra, and because it's right there, because I don't always, we don't always have pockets in our pants. Yeah. So, and I thought, did I lose it in Rise and Shine? Did I lose it at the school I was at? This Crosbyton buying school supplies with my debit card, doing one of those. But nope, it was sitting in my thing. So, okay. I'm gonna make this big so we can talk about the schedule when we get New Deal and Post. This should be familiar. This is the same group I had this time last year. So, not the same students, no, same schools at this time. The others have kind of like Hill Center, that's a new school. We've not had them before. They used to be with Western Texas College, and we're unhappy with whatever was going on there, so they moved into this. I'll only have them this semester, though. Their juniors take 1301 and their seniors take 1302 in the fall. They don't take a college English in the spring. They take something else in the spring. So somebody else can have them. They're the ones that are having difficulty adjusting to stuff, so. But we're going to get them there eventually. Yeah, that's New Deal. Morning. And this is, I only have 9. Yeah, she's got some freebies over here. Sticky? Yeah, if you want some sticky, yeah. She's the one that that took one of the ones that I found.
Yeah, get you a couple of those.
And there's highlighters. And, guys, you can pay for this. Your tuition part of it makes our budget. And so that goes to buy this stuff. So you might as well get one of the sticky note things. And the highlighters.
Got pink, blue, and green, because that's all we could get. We couldn't get any.
Apparently there's a shortage of yellow highlighters.
Yes, all of those are random things too.
See, it's got all kinds of cute ones. Even if you don't do anything, you've got a little cousin or a little brother or sister, you could give it to them.
If you have children anywhere around with these, they're crayons because they feel like crayons. They're gel. And we were like trying to get everything, blue, purple,
Well, it's a sad situation where when you can't find stuff, and you go in the grocery store and it's not there. Particularly when it's food.
Yeah.
But, and,
I don't know, you try to write some of these, we found out these kind of,
yeah,
yes, by these, the,
yeah, notes, yeah,
whatever, so.
3M sticky notes are expensive. My husband was addicted to them. My grandkids love them.
Oh, yeah.
The youngest one, he likes them, he just writes sticky notes and sticks them all over the place, so. We're missing Post, let me find out where Post is. Post, are you there? If you are, somebody ought to speak, that might help. Ooh,
Hello?
somebody wants to do the effects of fast fashion and how it is harmful. That sounds interesting.
One of your students did?
Yes.
Wow.
Is it in Opposing Viewpoint?
Well, sort of, but it's like, did my brain maybe go out, because I was trying to think of something else, I guess, that was usually not too serious,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought about like the glitter evil,
Well,
you know,
I-
microplastics, and
There we go.
fast fashion is the thing now,
Yeah.
guys, that fast fashion is also ruining you.
yeah.
I was looking for fast fashion all over.
Okay, that's one of my students, but, it's a quirky thing. So hopefully you have been handed a page that looks like this, and I'm gonna go over it very quickly, and I've discovered I've not set up stuff in it yet, but this is the revised schedule for the next 3 weeks, okay? Just because things didn't happen on my Monday, Wednesday classes, and I just felt, again, we need to slow down. And it's not that my syllabus wasn't viable, you just never know when you're teaching how long things take. Anybody can create a syllabus and circumstances happen. It's like last year in the fall, we had, how many schools were out for COVID, and we were having to Zoom, and then Post went to class in the auditorium so that they weren't sitting next to each other in December because they were going to state marching band and state football. It was, you have to make some adjustments sometimes, and I cannot penalize a school because over half of the people sitting in my class are getting to go somewhere special, so I'm not gonna do that when something like that happens. Okay, so revised syllabus for the weeks 7 through 9, and there is one error on it, I'll tell you, sorry about that. You can see, turn in your final was due on Monday, discussion about argumentative, we did that on Tuesday, and we looked at topics. You should have begun looking over topics and beginning thinking about what you want to do your essay on, like I just got that one from Haley. And today we're having the SPC database tour during class, and then this is what's wrong. Hold on. Let me get rid of this last one. You're going to see that exact same thing is repeated down on 1015. So on 1015, there's an extra credit assignment. All you have to do is send me, let me go find your class because I don't believe I'm in it right. Yeah, I am in it. Awesome. Let me go into week 7, and I don't think I put it in. Oh, no, I just didn't do it on my 208 class. You're going to see, there's the revised checklist, and it's got turn in that topic thing twice. Not today, okay, but tomorrow. 5 extra points. If you didn't do well on the narrative essay, that'll help with that. If you didn't do well in compare and contrast, well, it could help with that. So it's 5 points wherever, it's just 5 points, okay? And there's others coming up as well. So that shows the SPC database tour is today. That was the final, the complete compare and contrast. Here are handouts. The summary and argumentation stuff are here. This is a handout that may not be viable anymore, but it just kind of gave you a list of databases. But here's where you turn in the argumentative topic for extra credit. So all I want you to do is you can either write a submission, you can do it there, or you can do it in comments, and all you have to do is write down, my argumentative topic is going to be the death penalty, and I'm going to look at it, it's too expensive, it's not a deterrent, and it's not administered equitably. That tells me you've got 3 categories. That tells me what you can do it on. You get 5 extra points per 1 sentence, okay? But I do want to know what the topic is, and through what I said, you heard my stance. The death penalty should be abolished because it's not effective. I gave you that, so you've got to have that in there. And then you click that and it's in. And that's this week. Next week, week 8, which means we're halfway through the semester, by the way. Woo-hoo. Okay, that's good. You're going to see it's down here. I expect on Monday for you to do research on topics, because I don't know what you're going to do over the weekend. There's those same handouts on argumentation and summary. Submit copy of an article for extra credit. On Wednesday, I expect you to have found an article about your topic. and you've downloaded it, you've got it on the computer, you've got it on flash drive, you got it somewhere, both in the cloud, maybe it's on Google Drive, wherever you've got it, and then you need to, upload it and just send me a copy of your article. And that's 5 points for showing me that you're started to do research. So now you've got 10% added on to whatever grade, you know, if you've done those two. So that's out there for you. So that's where you see submit copy of article for extra credit. And then by Friday, we're gonna practice paraphrasing on Thursday because we haven't talked about it a lot, so we're gonna talk about that Tuesday and Thursday. Submit a draft of your summary paraphrase to Blackboard by midnight on Friday, because I don't want you to worry about doing it over the weekend, okay? Because people forget. The weekend comes, and the weekend's not a time to do work for school, except for me, okay? So you'll submit a draft of it, and, I have argumentation here in twice and essay writing. I was just trying to make sure that I had everything in. I could tell that I had it in here twice, but I don't always scroll down to the bottom of the page. So then we go into week 9, and week 9 on Monday, Tuesday, I'll get the right day out in my mouth, sorry. On Tuesday, we'll be doing peer revision, so you'll need 2 copies of your summary for that, and you will submit peer comments to Blackboard by midnight. I don't have that in there, so I'll need to make a note to myself to get that in there. But that's what's coming up, but then we go back to regular points. You turn in a draft, that's worth so many points, 12.5, and then the peer revision comments, who looked at like we did on the narrative, who looked at your summaries and what you thought of their comments is the other 12.5 for that, okay? So, now I'm gonna turn it over to Ms. Pineda, and then everything goes back to kind of regular order, all right? I'm gonna turn it over to Ms. Pineda to, talk to you about how to use the databases here. Okay. She's been a librarian here for 31 years at South Plains College. That's a long time. I've only been teaching for 24, 25, somewhere, 26, I don't know, somewhere in there. Long time ago.
Yeah, I've been here a long time. We're seeing some down there.
I came to this later in life.
Yeah. Good morning. I'm Tracy, and I'm here at the Reese Center. And I guess at this stage, I would be open to suggestions for our topic. We've talked about the same thing for 3 classes, and we could use the same topic, driverless cars. But if any of you already know your topic, we might be able to use something else. Anybody have any suggestions?
Doesn't look positive.
Okay.
You wanna try fast fashion and see what's out there on it?
Yes, I was looking for that. That's why I'm like, oh my goodness, I was just looking for that. It's interesting because one search kind of leads to another. That's why I was joking about like the glitter thing. You read news stories or you see things online and it's like, glitter, don't ever use glitter again because it's ruining the planet. It's polluting. And like, what's wrong with glitter? You know? Besides if you've ever done a project with a kid and you're like, you never get rid of glitter. It's everywhere in your carpet and your clothes. But as a microplastic, that it shows up eventually in the Arctic. You know, they've done studies and there's microplastics in the Arctic and stuff like that. And from that, it's like, well, what are microplastics?
Well, fast fashion will show up.
Yes, and that your clothing has stuff. The way you wash your clothes, plastic gets into the water. Me, the horrible housekeeper, in microfibers, like the Miracle microfiber cloth, is it ruining the environment because the fibers get in? So there's all this stuff that you just discover along the way. So you can try fast fashion, because somebody out there has said that they found that and want to study it.
Yeah.
Main thing, I'm going to close some of these windows.
She's got about 30 windows.
Yeah, that's my typical deal. I'll just back it up. The main thing is to know how to get started to find the library webpage. Some of you have been to the library here at Reese, because I see you coming into the library at Reese, but I know most of you are going to want to have access online to do your research and find online digital resources. If you want to find books, you know, physical items like that, the catalog can help you, and we can talk about that maybe, you know, if you're interested in doing that sometime. But for now, we're going to talk about the electronic resources that, like the databases that have the journal articles, streaming video collection, one in particular, and ebooks. we're gonna touch on that. We're gonna spend more time with the journal articles because, that may be what you need the most and help you find what you need for this assignment pretty quickly. So to find our page, you start with the home page of the school. And everybody can find this page, and there's a menu here in this orange area, student services and library. That's it. There's another link at the bottom as well, but that's the quickest way. Now, depending on what your laptop looks like or the computer looks like that you're using, when I first saw this one, it's a little unusual because I'm used to the big wide screen and everything's all spread out. This one, everything's kind of stacked on top of each other. So let me go through some of these. Big one to notice right off the bat is click here for help. So if you start looking around and you have some difficulties with whatever, finding a resource, coming up with a topic, something is not working the way it should, click here for help. Up at the top, click here for library app. If you want to know where and when the library is open here at Region and up, click there. And it will give you the hours of location. Here's level and all out, and our hours. There's vary a little bit. They're open a little bit earlier than we are. They close early. Thursdays, everybody closes up around here at 4 on Fridays. They are open Sundays for a few hours.
I was gonna say Friday, nobody's open Friday. SBC has fall break on Friday.
Oh, this
I'm
Friday
the only
now.
one working because I'm driving to Abernathy. There you go.
Yes, this Friday everyone's off. Normally we're open till 4, but these are our typical hours. Also above that, meet the staff. If you wanted to be in touch with a particular librarian, maybe you work with Robert at some point, or, I'm here in class, if you wanted to ask me a question, you could find the staff. Level-end staff would be very happy to help as well. There are their phone numbers, their offices, their email, Tracy. And in Plainview, even, Plainview listing is, if we have Plainview students that have a question, there is a library liaison person there too. Also below that, which is need help, there is a chat box. So if you have a quick question and you don't necessarily want to have a long, prolonged conversation, although if you're at home and you need help and want to go through chat, we will chat and help you as much as you need. So the length of the time that we chat with you really will depend on you. How much you want to talk to us, how briefly or more in depth. You can leave that blank if you want to remain anonymous, or you can put your name in, start the chat. Usually there are at least 2 people that are watching chat. I know here at Reese, Robert and I both are on chat most of the time, and also in Levelland, there are 4 librarians over there. So it could be that there are 4 librarians that are just waiting to get a question in chat. So if you need that, that is there. Below that is email a librarian. Now, of course, there will be times where it may say chat's unavailable, and if so, this email a librarian feature might be helpful. You can put your name, your email. If you want to put where you attend, you can. Otherwise, you can put as I'm not sure. Leave it at that and ask your question and send it. This question or any questions here will route. If you say you're at Reese, they'll probably route to us, or they'll go to us. So somebody will see that and respond to you probably same day, maybe within an hour or 2. Contact information. Here is contact information again for each library location, but this is the general number. So if you don't know who in particular to look for, you just want to contact somebody at Levelland. There is their phone number in the library and ours there. So different ways you can be in touch with us to get help if you need it. That big red button, that will help you get connected. Hours of operation and things like that, there's more details listed there if you follow that box. Research, things you can find here that might be helpful. Again, click here for hours. there's this video, it will go to YouTube and you can watch a video on logging in. It's going to be on a lot of different pages. This is not the only place you'll see it. But when you're off campus, if you're not using Wi-Fi, whenever you try to get into a journal collection or the streaming video, things like that, you have to be authenticated. You know, you have to identify yourself as part of the user group. So this little video will show you what that looks like. Basically, you'll see a box like you do now that pops up from Microsoft and says put in your username and password for SPC. SPC username, SPC password, just like you used to log in to Wi-Fi or to the computers. That's all you have to do. So if you're at home and you see that, log in and you should be able to get to everything, just as if you were on campus. Research information, there's a breakdown by subject. We have, I think, between 70 and 80 different databases. And that's really a lot of choices, almost too much choice, and, you know, when you're just trying to get to the right one. So if you have a topic and you wanted to get a sort of a more focused list of collections to look at, you can do that here. It's a topic that you're going to be looking at. We were talking about driverless cars. Fast fashion, that might be best searched in one of the general collections until I know more about it. But then it's like, well, technologically, is it about the environment? You know, is fast fashion bad for the environment? Maybe I want to look into some of the science collections. So I could click on physical science, and it will show me science databases that have journals focused on scientific topics. So you can be as broad with your search or as focused as you want to be. Okay? So those options are here. Below that, excuse me, not below, but above, there is information about different citation styles, MLA and APA. So if you need some examples about how to do an in-text citation in your paper, you can click this link and it will take you to some different resources that will show you what in-text citations look like and how to do that. Same thing with formatting a works cited page, if you need some help about that. Now the nice thing is most of these databases have tools you just click on and it will show you the citation. But I always tell people, please check everything before you turn it in, because there's a lot of computer stuff behind the scenes, and sometimes the citations are not perfect. They're mostly good, but not 100%. So you still need, the responsibility is on you to double check. So if you need some help knowing what to compare the citation you get from the database, you know, to, these different pages can help you. And that's all through that research box. Okay. We're not going to really talk about the catalog now, but let's start with the databases, because there are a couple of general databases that may take care of everything you need. You know, you may find everything you need there, and if two can help get you everything, why not start with those, right? So when you click the database box, you'll see some familiar resources. And then it says journal and periodical articles. Now there are 3 sections to this page. And again, depending on what your screen looks like, it may be easier for you to see them at the same time. This first section says general article databases. These are the 2 that I would recommend you try first, because they may take care of your searches. Below that, you will see another breakdown by subject. So social sciences, that'd be like, oh goodness, let me start with math, physical sciences, engineering, psychology, sociology, things like that. I think those are under behavioral, actually. Health sciences. Okay. At the bottom, there's a section that says A to Z. If you want to see everything, we have an A to Z list. So if you forget where you found a database, but you remember the name of it, you can go over there, see the list, and click on it there. So 3 different parts. I'm going to start with opposing viewpoints, the second one in the list of the general, because the opposing viewpoints database is set up so that you can find topics. If you don't already have one, it's got a huge list of topics that you can choose from. And the goal of that database is to present all these topics with different viewpoints about each one, pros and cons about each one. Other databases don't necessarily do that. They just give you big collections that you can search. This one groups things for you so that you can find information that way. You can also search it. We were doing some searches, like the driverless cars, for example. That's not listed in their topics, but I can still search it and pull articles and things from it. So here, we're gonna switch it up a little bit because somebody's asking about fast fashion.
Sorry,
That's all right.
I'm getting emails.
Is that what this is? I could search, there's a search box, I could look for my topics here. Below that, if I wanna browse around a little bit, or maybe I'm trying to get some ideas, maybe I'm not convinced that, my idea that I started with, maybe that's not really, my heart is not into this topic that I'm starting with. I could look around and see other things. I could browse them, the issues that are in this collection, and they have them in sort of big broad categories: business and economics, energy, health and medicine, society and culture. But then I can browse 170. So if I want a really extensive list, I can see all these different topics. And under each one, I'm going to find a lot of different essays and articles that take different, discuss this topic from different perspectives in a lot more detail. So if I'm looking through and we're going to say, well, fast fashion, what is fast fashion and why would that be controversial? I could look through this alphabetical list, and I'll tell you, when I'm looking for something, if I have to go to Google and say, what's fast fashion? I find myself, the older I'm getting, looking at different things on television, movies, it's like, I have to look up a lot of stuff. Like, what is that? What are they talking about there? And it's good. I'm constantly learning something. So with fast fashion, it's like, what exactly is that referring to? As I look through, there's Facebook, facial recognition, factory farming, fake news, fast fashion. Sure enough, it's there. I hadn't looked for it this way. I was thinking, I don't think it's going to be there. But it is. So that means there must be enough information, enough articles and things to have its own category here. Fast fashion. And here, this will help me with my ideas like, what is fast fashion? What's the big deal? The overview. If you click on a link that's something that's in that list, it's going to give you an overview. And this says, fast fashion refers to a business model in which branded clothing producers respond quickly to emerging styles and trends by introducing new apparel collections on compact cycles. Okay. I can read more. It's going to give me a very long explanation. Pros and cons. Perfect. Pros and cons of fast fashion. Pros: innovative, streamlined production, distribution methods. Fast fashion companies are major drivers of global economic growth, etc. Success of it has inspired substantial innovation. Cons. Fast fashion has a pronounced environmental impact and ranks as a leading source of industrial fossil fuel consumption, greenhouse gas emissions, and unrecyclable waste.
Interesting topic.
Yeah.
But you see, by going in this way, pros and cons, you've got your reason, and you've got access to your counter argument. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. And it may not always be quite this quick or easy with your topic, but you never know. Because if your topic is not in that list, you could still search the box. Now, right here, this is just sort of the overview, but I want to read this in more detail later. I really do now too, because I've been looking for this. I see it in the news, in news stories. In any news stuff, it's like, what's the newest thing, the latest thing? I want to know about it. There are tools here and even up here that can help you capture this for later. Upload it to Google Drive if you have a Gmail account. OneDrive. I think everybody has a OneDrive account because you have email through the college. And we're connected with OneDrive. The envelope, of course, that's your email option. This database comes from a company named Gale. And Gale does certain things for you in their collections. For example, they plug in the fast fashion as the title of the subject line. You don't have to make up a subject before you send it. You can type in your email address. It can be a South Plains College email address, or it can be your Gmail, Yahoo, iCloud, whatever. Whatever email you really do look at, put that in there. Don't have to put from, because you know it's from you to you, unless you get things sent to your junk mail if they don't have a from person. Send as full text. I wouldn't. Yes. I know you want the citation, but if you switch that, all you will get is the citation. If you leave it set as full text, you'll get the text and the citation. I don't know why they don't just say that, but that's generally what will happen. And then send it, and it will send it. Now she's
So I wanna show
Show
you
you.
something on the document camera.
document cam.
Most of you, oops, there we go. Most of you have a cell phone, right? So guess what? When you're sitting in another class and you're bored, you can search information. I'm actually in opposing viewpoints. I typed in fast fashion, and then I clicked on viewpoints and saw there were two. So I can see I've got two articles here. The first one is 974 words, fast fashion is a problem. The other one is fast fashion may have benefits. So I now have access to both documents. So I'm just going to click on the title. It's gonna open up the document, and it gives me a summary. The first thing you see in opposing viewpoints is going to be an abstract, which is a summary of the article. You don't quote that. That's what you're doing to the article. You're gonna write your own summary of it, okay? But it's got all these neat things down here. Once you get past the blue section on the phone, you're gonna see, there's the article. I was reading this just a minute ago. But really up here, you can see there's all these wonderful things about the size of the font. It will read it to you. If I scroll, there's that little envelope that tells me I don't have to do anything else. I can sit here on my phone, do my research, and email myself a copy of that document. So, you put in your email you can just say me, it's got fast fashion as a problem, message, and then all I have to do is send, and it's sent to me. So I don't want to hear that you couldn't do research because your computer wasn't working at home. I know you all have phones that work, right? So you can do your research for this project on your phone. Now, you can't write it. It's too hard to try to write an essay on your phone. I'll just tell you, there's just too much going on. Too many things that you can't check. But don't tell me you can't do research, okay? And I guess it's good that I'm logged in, that I'm sitting on campus. That's why it's allowing me access to the documents.
Right.
You will probably have to log in.
You would see that screen, and if you're trying to do it, and it would happen while you're in the session the first time. You wouldn't have to do it for every article, but it would say, okay, put in your username and password. And once you do that, then you're free to use the database and send yourself stuff and all that kind of thing. Usually, it only wants you to log in once while you're in a session, and that you're good. Okay. Download, icon, print. Those of you on campus, you have like $25 in your PaperCut account. That's, I think, 500 pages. You can print out 500 pages during the semester for whatever classes or whatever uses. It's already included. So if you wanted to print, you could print that way, or you could print it as a PDF. Send to, that's another email. The site, the little quotation marks here, if you're working on your paper, while you're looking at the documents here, you got Word open, you could click it. Gale also, their default citation style is MLA. You can change it, but that's going to be the first one. So when you send yourself documents, you're going to get an MLA style citation, which is good for y'all. Otherwise, you would have to switch it, but here it is. Always double check it. Once you've copied and pasted it in to your document, you may have to tweak it a little bit. Always double check against your style guide. There might be something else you could need to correct, but all the basics are there, which is wonderful. Okay. I told you, if yours does not show up in the list, the search box here or in that first page, if it had not been in the list, I could have typed it in. And just like with Google, you'll see a menu come down and you'll see other searches people have done. And sometimes it's really helpful because if you can think of other ways to describe your search, that's good. I'm not familiar enough yet with the topic to know if there's another way to talk about fast fashion. Is there another term for that? As I look through the different documents, I may come across something that I can also put into another search. But for the moment, this is as much as I know, so that's what I'm going to go with. There's that overview again. But then below that, and in your case, you may, if you're on that first screen and you're looking, you may see these features at the top. Opposing Viewpoints has a category that the other databases don't. No, those are the viewpoints. The viewpoints are like essays that take a viewpoint or a position on a topic, and you don't want to miss those. So this one only has the 2, but we saw those a second ago.
On my phone.
Fashion is a problem. or fast fashion is a problem, fast fashion may have benefits. So you got two opposing viewpoints. They are from the fashion industry. That is a book that Gail put together of different essays about the fashion industry. They're both in that same one. So we took a look at it a little while ago, so you know what it looks like inside. You also, this is featured viewpoints. They break it down different ways. I still am not totally sure what the difference is in featured viewpoints versus all of them, so I tend to look at all of them. A tipping point in fashion. Forever 21's bankruptcy signals the shifting priorities of young shoppers. Time to make fast fashion a problem for its makers, not charities. This is one I thought was fascinating. Renting clothes is a viable alternative to fast fashion. Should you be renting clothes more often, or ever?
Rent tuxedos.
Yeah. So why not the latest fashion for a season if you're only going to wear it for a few months and then throw it away, or give it away or something like that?
Yeah, but then you're stuck with, okay, so whoever's renting the clothes, why
Yeah.
would they rent it, because if it's only gonna be...
Right. So there's a lot of discussion back and forth. Is this better for the environment? Is it not? What are the other there are always consequences. Even if something sounds good one place, there's something down the line. So things like that. Also, videos, those would probably be from news organizations, magazines, and academic journals. Not many academic journals here, only 2, and about 20 magazine articles. The magazine articles can be good because you can get an idea about the topic without too much scientific language to start off with. Eventually, you want to look at the academic journals too, but sometimes starting off there can be a little bit overwhelming. So starting off a little slow to get your feet under you, so to speak, when you're getting into this topic, magazines could help. Now, I've got an idea about it. I found some viewpoints and things like that. I can go back. Now I can go to that Academic Search Complete database, that large multidisciplinary collection, and I can type in fast fashion, and I'm going to see other things that were not included in opposing viewpoints. I'm going to see a lot more journals, a lot more magazines. It's not going to break them down into viewpoints, but I'm going to get a lot more to choose from. And fast fashion shows up pretty quickly up there. If I leave this select the field menu as it is, fast fashion, this database is going to look for that term, those words, in the title of articles, in the subjects, the official subjects, and in the summaries. The overviews called abstracts, the prominent places, and that's where you want your topics to show up most of the time, because it means the articles are focused on that topic. I've got 155 articles now. Ultra fast fashion is eating the world. That sounds intriguing. Came out in March of this year, so it's fairly new. Shows me the details about the pages and all that. Fast fashion, there we go. It's in the subjects and in the title. If I click the title of the article, it's going to take me to the details about the article. I can see more subjects: fashion marketing, consumption economics, branding, Pretty Little Thing, the company, and there's the abstract. The abstract is not the article, it's just the overview of the article. Why would you want to look at that? Well, because you might be able to tell pretty quickly whether you want to email this article, save it, print it, eventually use it. If you look at that and think, nah, then you just go back and you click on...
And that's the whole
result.
point of writing a summary, is for somebody who reads your summary to decide, is that article something I should read or not?
Right.
So that's why you have to only talk about what's in the article, not put yourself in it. It's got to be unbiased.
If you want to actually look at the article, because the abstract looks like it might be a good choice, you click over in the upper left. This one has both the HTML version and the PDF version. If you can get the PDF version, that's good, because you'll see the original page numbers. HTML will have the full content of the article, but it'll just have the straight text of it. The PDF will show you the original layout.
It's got pictures.
Mm-hmm.
More interesting than just abstract,
Right, and most scholarly journals won't have all the nice pictures.
Yeah.
It'll just be the, the text, but this will show you, see if I can enlarge it. If you got some content from this page, you'd be able to cite it in your paper and say, I got this from page, actually it was one before that, I guess, 78. Sometimes in the HTML it's a little tricky. There are other ways to do that in MLA, but the PDF will give you more of the original look. There are tools on the right. Again, there's Google Drive if you want to upload it, a printer. And of course, you don't have to print the paper. You could print it as a PDF. There's the envelope to email. And this EBSCO hosts, this company, they produce a lot of different databases, including the ebook collection, one of the biggest ones that we have. They have their own look, their own platform. They don't do some of the things Gale does, the Opposing Viewpoints company there. They don't put in the subject for you, and they don't choose the citation for you. You've got to do those yourself. So if you go in here and you put in your email, and I'm just going to put Ms. Thompson's email, since it clicks in there. Put in your own subject. You could maybe copy the title of the article before you get to this stage and then paste it in there, or you could just put in, let's see, where are you? Here we go. My article about, this is not about solitary, this will be about fast fashion. Anything that makes sense to you, just put in a subject. Then, make sure over here on the right, you click that button for citation format. If you don't, you're not going to get the citation. It'll send you the article, but not the citation. And once you do that, make sure you change it. Otherwise, you'll get the citation, but it'll be the wrong kind. It'll be the Brazilian national standards, which nobody around here uses that at the moment. So, click on MLA, and then you can send it. It's done, and you can do that for as many articles as you want to. As far as I know, there's not a limit on how many you can email yourself, other than your own personal exhaustion, from looking at everything. It's not like we have some collections of the ebooks, for example. You can only email a certain number of pages, maybe 100 from a book. With the articles, you can send as many as you want. Other tools here, this icon that looks just like a plain yellow piece of paper, that's the citation icon. So if, again, you're working on your works cited, you want to go ahead and just copy and paste a list. Scroll down to MLA, and there you go. Whenever you copy and paste it, again, when you paste it, you're going to have to adjust it a little bit for the indentation, and just make sure that the database is not over-capitalized, like capitalized everything in the title or something. Make sure that you match up the style, the details. That part's yours to finish. It does list what the title of the page would be, works cited, that's MLA. The title of that page is works cited. That's not really part of the citation, that's just what the title will be of the whole page.
Well, that's the document it goes on at the end of what you're writing.
Yeah.
It's a separate page from the rest of the essay. So don't include it.
Now, another thing you could try, now this is only 10 pages long. You might think, oh, 10 pages. 10 pages is not a very long article, really, when you get into some of the other journals. So if I go back to my result list, I selected, did I select anything like that? I did not. I've got 155 articles. That one, The Atlantic, I know just from experience, The Atlantic is a magazine. It's not a scholarly journal. If I wanted to select only the magazines, there's a choice over there on the left to filter. And now instead of 155 articles, I've got 47. So 47 of those articles are from magazines. I can get rid of that choice. And if I wanted to see, are there any scholarly, peer-reviewed journals? There must be something else, because out of 155, minus 47, that still leaves quite a few. Take a look. 68 articles coming from peer-reviewed journals. And this first one, traditional versus fast fashion supply chains in the apparel industry. Scholarly journals, a lot of times they'll talk about a research study or some kind of research, so they're very focused on one aspect of the topic. Also, scholarly language, scientific language, things like that, okay? The abstract can be very helpful a lot of the times here in giving you an idea about what they're talking about. When I open up this article, it's probably not going to have all the nice pictures and things like that a magazine would. This one is 27 pages long. Not unusual to have, when a scholarly journal shows up, that it's going to have a lot more pages. Some of them are pretty long. Okay, well, if there's something I want to find in this article about fast fashion, like the environment, do they talk about the environment here? If I can't tell that from the title of the article or the abstract, I can usually look inside the pages of the article as well. And one little shortcut is to use the find feature, find shortcut, Control F. Control key and F at the same time can help me. If this article has been formatted so that it's searchable, this will work. Sometimes there are articles in the collections that are not, but in this case, I'm going to look for environment. And so far, so good. I type the word environment up in this area up here, and it'll show me where that shows up in the article. Also, it shows up 4 times, and I can use the little arrow in this box, and it'll show me. Now, it might show up 1 time. If it does, and it says something important, I could use it. If it shows up 1 time and really is not related to what I'm looking for, I can skip it. It maybe sounded like a good article, but it doesn't really have what I want. So that little shortcut can help you get inside the pages of the document to get a little bit better look. Or if it's very lengthy, where exactly? Do I have to go through all 50 pages, all 25 pages to find that? Another way you could go about this, go back a little bit. You might try this up front. I want the topic to be fast fashion. I've already looked at opposing viewpoints. I know the environment is a big concern. Economy, one thing. Environment, another. I can go here and I can put in environment. I'm going to leave fast fashion still as the big topic. If I want to leave this field as it is, I can see, are there articles that have all of these terms in prominent places? Fast fashion, sustainability, and the ethical appeal of luxury brands.
Got about 5 minutes left.
Okay. So now I've narrowed the focus just by putting those terms in. If I got a list of maybe 1 item, another little thing I can do here in EBSCO, I can change this to all text. And what that will mean is fast fashion is still the big topic, but now I'm going to search every page in the list of my results, those articles, for that word. And so now instead of 11, I get 41. So that's a little strategy. You keep the topic focused on the big fast fashion topic, but I can start looking for specific terms that are related to my arguments. I could put in economy or economics or other things, the pros and cons I learned about. All right, let me show you the video part 2, because you might want to get into the streaming videos. To find those, just click on the big video box. More familiar stuff. There's 3 different links. For this assignment, really only one of them would probably be helpful. The first one, Swank, has fun movies and things like that instructors sometimes use in their classes. The last one, Canopy, we've had to cut back a lot on that, so there's not as much selection. This middle one, Films on Demand, that's the one. Films on Demand will have documentaries and different nonfiction series. It's browsable if you want to get some ideas, if you're not totally set on something yet. And of course, you can watch these for whatever reason. But I have a search box at the top, and if I put in fast fashion, now I have not done this search here, so I'm not really sure yet if fast fashion shows up on videos here. And it does. Fast fashion. This is a segment of a larger video, and the video's title is Zara, the Story of the World's Richest Man. The second one, Expansion of Fast Fashion Market. It's a segment out of a video called Runway to Retail, Business Trends in Fashion. How trendy is the fast fashion trend? Okay, so really, my results were better than I would have expected. In fact, they're over 2,000. When I look over here on the corner, over 2,000 results. If I wanted to narrow my subjects to business and economics, earth science, environmental science, I could click on that and it would just pull out any videos that fit within that discipline. The other thing, and I didn't do it in the previous databases, but usually you can narrow your time frame. You know, I figure this is a trend or a topic that's relatively recent, but that could maybe still be 10, 15 years. Depending on what your topic is, you may want to limit your time frame. And most of the databases will let you. The filters here, there's a copyright date. If I wanted to keep it within the previous 5 years, I could just click it. That will narrow down that list quite a bit. In fact, we'll try it. Okay. 349. That's a lot, but a lot less than 2,000. When I look, I'm actually looking and thinking, I kind of like some of the other titles better, but just for the sake of example, let's just take a look. Recycling clothing. This is a book about Japan, a video about Japan. We'll just go in there for an example. I can play the video.
From the precious metals in our electronic devices to the clothes we wear, recycling is also being championed by Tokyo-based startup J-Plan. Short for Japan Environment Planning, J-Plan was established in 2007.
Okay, and if I'm focused on fast fashion, I might listen to this. I'm not convinced that this would be ideal. I might go back to my previous list and look, but I think you get the idea. You can watch the videos here and decide. There's a closed caption feature. This 1x means you can speed up the videos if you want to listen and watch more quickly, full screen, and you can even cast it. Right below is a citation tool. MLA is their default. Excuse me, I need to get onto actual citation.
That's good, MLA. Remember, we're operating in English land, okay?
Yeah. So there's your citation.
Okay, I'm just up here to remind you that extra credit due tomorrow is basically your topic and what you think you're going to analyze about it, okay? Or what you're going to use to logically argue about your situation, okay? Ms. Panetti, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is 2 days of her doing all the talking and me. Okay.
You can download the transcripts from these too. So if you
Or
want
you can watch the video if you didn't pay attention.
Lots of things.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And again, if you can invite your city or you guys, this is what you guys are not getting, okay? See, isn't it cute? Look at me. It's right there, too. So what you're not getting, cute little, you know. No, these are available for the students here at SBC, and then we also have highlighters, so. And your tuition, including their.
Your
tuition,
conference is scheduled to end in 2 minutes.
I'm not bringing you these kind of gifts. I'm bringing them when I go out to everybody, you know. Okay? So, you guys have a great weekend. Be sure, get your topics in and get that extra credit, okay? No quizzes, no. Well, you've actually taken, I think, 6. So we really just have 2 left. And grammar, we just have 2 more grammar quizzes. And I actually don't have the other 2 quizzes in over the reading, so I have to get those done. I'm not sure when, but I will.
You're welcome.
Okay, have a great weekend. If I slide off the desk here. Okay.
I had never asked if you wanted to take anything to your other students.
I don't,
No.
yeah, I've already seen 5 schools, so yeah. No, I haven't seen all of them, I still have. I'm going to Abernathy tomorrow, Morton next week, Post, and then New Deal. I have 4 schools left, so. So that's why I don't skip. That's why I go this Friday, because I don't wanna be driving into right before finals. That doesn't do any good. For instance, when I went at, 2 weeks ago, I was in Lorenzo. I actually sat and went over the compare and contrast essay with the students, about, asked them what they were doing, and they're like deer in the headlights, doing one of those things. I was like, don't panic. If you got questions, I can answer them.
Well, I didn't realize how much you travel. That's a lot of.
Well, I will say, a regular schedule will run from 8:45. Okay. They're saying that they actually run the class from 8:45.
Your conference is now over. Goodbye.
I just told her I'd be there by 8:45. I was sitting there thinking I could sleep late, but I just need to leave 15 minutes earlier to get, between getting there at 9 and getting there at 8:45. It's just Abernathy, so. Well, it's close. And I spent years driving to New Deal, so it's just another 9 miles past New Deal, so, or Noodle. So,
How's your husband doing?
he's doing good. He loves that kid. Gives him something to think about and talk to,
Yeah.
not that we don't have 2 dogs, they're there too, but the kitten will come in and he plays with it plays with his shoes. It's really good therapy for him. Gets him out of thinking about himself and how he feels. He's probably never gonna drive again. I just don't see that happening. His balance is so poor, his reaction time is not good. You can tell, I move quickly, and my husband, he kinda walks like this, 'cause balance is the issue.
Right.
I don't think we want him driving a car. That just feels like a recipe for disaster, so.
Well, animals are great, so.
Well, they do update and shut down.
Entertaining too, my goodness.
Well, it gives him something to look at and interact with besides me. So I actually was writing an essay. I write my 3rd essay from compare and contrast, so I thought I could, and interact with you, so we wonder how good my writing.
Well, I hope you'll get some interesting things.
Well, I'm excited about the one about fast fashion, because that gave us something else
Yes,
to another topic, and it's an intriguing topic, actually.
yes. I think we'll hear more and more, because summer's like, well, do people buy too many clothes?
Well,
How many clothes should you have? And all the environment and your washing machine, what it does, like,
well,
wow.
when I stop and think about how many clothes I had growing up, I had like 5 things I wore to school, and I tried to vary the days when I was growing up. I just didn't have any. Of course, my dad was retired military, and we had limited funds, and I lived in a small town, but I didn't think of it as not having stuff. But now I've got way too much. But when you're talking about it, I thought, on Facebook you get all those ads and they show all those cute clothes, and then you go order them and it's gonna be 6 weeks for it. It's got to ship from Asia. I bought a couple of shirts off of Amazon, and they were I would guarantee they're fast fashion. This is not one of them. But it made me think that I did that but I got it from Amazon. I didn't have that wait time, but I guarantee one of them was from China or Taiwan, because all the tags on it have strange words on them, So I know it's fast fashion and it's inexpensive. So, but I don't feel like I've invested a whole lot of money because of that.
Right.
Because I got 2 shirts for what I would have paid for one, if I'd bought it from who I usually would buy from, so.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't shut down. Okay, why aren't you shutting down?
Well, let me know if there's anything else.
Oh, awesome, thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Well, we won't see you in this kind of class this semester, but maybe down the hall.
Oh, that's right, I can come in and look in the library is what I can do.
Yes, while we're here. Will you be at the new center next year?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. they're not putting an ITV room in, but ITV, the statistics show that ITV improves grades for low credit students. And so, I'm hoping they'll let me still teach out here. This building's still gonna be open,